Hi, welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey, girl. Hey, what's going on?
Ugh. I I don't know. I'm back on coffee and honestly, I'm being really productive.
Okay. Look, caffeine's a wonder drug.
Look at me on time because of coffee.
It is almost why I was late, but I have to. So I got my nails done, and then
They look lovely.
thank you. He does them a bit wide. I don't know. It's a little childlike, but anyway. He always offers a coffee, and I'll have a coffee. Like, this coffee is so good, and it's like this Vietnamese coffee. They're just little packets, like pre-made packets. And you just put
Really?
it in, put boiling water in, and it has like cream and sugar in it. They're delicious.
Wait, the cream and sugar is already in this kind of tea bag coffee?
Yeah, it's not like a tea bag. It's like a packet of like instant coffee, essentially, with like
Oh,
coffee mate and sugar in it.
wow.
It's so good. But man, it's strong.
Oh yeah, you're like, I'm shaky. Um, yeah, no, my brain fog's back. I really do think it's connected. But but got so much done yesterday. Like everything on my to-do list.
That's
And
great.
see, and it's like it's really hard to be like the balance.
Yeah, it's either like you turbo think and then you can't think at all for the rest of the time you're not on coffee, or you have a balance of thinking but you don't get anything done. So,
Yeah. And you know what I also realized? Like, I was taking the train to go do a spot and I was like borderline falling asleep. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, I forgot about that. Because it really is like, because I actually think the biggest issue is that I put sugar and like cream in my coffee. So it's just really like the insulin spike. So it's just like my brain's like, da 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 da. And then as soon as I have to go to work, I was like, da da da. And like,
maybe
because
that's what my problem is. Why it's like why I can't do comedy at night. Or ever. But I think it's just I'm always crashing because I'm always on coffee.
yeah, no, I did finally kind of put it together that I can be productive during the day, but I'm not productive at night. I have to pick a
Yeah.
time.
All
There
right.
needs to be a time.
What made you like get back onto caffeine?
I really like all the coffee shops in LA, and so a couple of weeks ago I went to LA. Evan got nominated for an Eddie Award. He also won that award. But I was in LA for a week with him, and so I was gonna be like hanging out with my sister and like I kind of was like, you know what? If I'm gonna break it, it's there. Which oddly enough, I discovered. Okay, there's this coffee shop near our Airbnb that was called Picnic. I highly recommend it. It's kind of like Japanese infused coffee shop, but they had I don't know how to say it. It's this roasted green tea, starts with an H. It looks like horchata, but it's not a horchata. Obviously, it's not
Okay.
horchata. But like that's what it. Those are the vibes that word is giving.
Okay.
Um, so it was this iced roasted green tea, looked brown, and then they would put like a cream top on it. And I got it. I lost my mind. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever had. So then every single day I made Evan drive past it so I could get one. I was like, I'm just going to buy you one. You're going to love it. He fell in love. And so then we just started having them every day. And then we discovered he has like kind of this Japanese coffee shop near him and they make it. So I am like trying not to have coffee every day because I discovered my new green tea drink.
Was it a cream top or was it cheese?
It was a cream top. Um, I'm thinking it's like a fancy whipped cream. That's what I'm assuming it is.
Okay. Best drink I ever had was like it was like an Irish coffee. I think I had it in San Francisco, and then they blended it with cream. So it was like this hot coffee, but there's really cold. Like I think the cream was frozen or something. I don't know, but like it was really thick, cold,
That's ice cream.
whipped.
They put ice cream in it. You're like, I don't know if anybody's invented this yet, but It's cold. It's really sweet. It's like a treat.
Yeah, it's like creamy, but there's texture to it, and then they put things in it. Have you had cheese tea?
Cheese tea? So
Yeah.
that's a real thing?
Yeah, so I wasn't just being stupid. Like, I mean, it's a pretty good guess I'm being stupid, but like the bubble tea here, that you can get cheese tea at those places. It's a popular bubble tea topping that involves a foamy, creamy layer of milk cream cheese and a touch of salt, creating a sweet and savory profile.
I don't doubt it's good, but my whole heart is like, what? Like,
Yeah. So why have they focused on the grossest pairing with bubble tea? It's like cheese, because you're thinking like cheddar, you know?
yeah.
They should be like Philadelphia bubble tea or cream bubble tea, but not.
Philadelphia bubble tea. I do love that. But as somebody that's had like, because I think a Boston roll is like smoked salmon and cream cheese, and that's pretty good. I've had savory donuts that are donuts with like, so it's like we're in this new world where we're inventing more ways to die quickly with happiness, and I'm not, I don't doubt that it's great, but it's gonna take someone else buying it for me and it and my day going great, because I can't have it ruined. I can't have it ruined with a bad bubble tea order.
I'll buy it next time you're around.
Or we could share. I like share. That's the other thing is I'll get my tea of choice and then I share an experimental tea.
My friend Mark, I watched him try bubble tea for the first time.
Those are my favorite moments, by the way.
Oh, it was pure disgust on his face. Because it's disgusting. If you're not used to the texture, which you won't be, our Western mouths have like the tapioca bubble. He was like, oh. And I just wish I had like video recorded it. Because like that was my initial reaction to bubble tea. And then it was like 2 seconds later, I was like, I'm in love with it. I want more.
Yeah, I mean, mine was similar, and I introduced it to Chad Daniels, and I introduced it to Danny. Hi, Danny. And I have both those recordings, and they're some of my favorite because, like, Chad is such a dad that he very much was like, okay, all right, this is interesting. Oh, they're coming back. Oh, there's more of them. He didn't like. You could tell he raised 2 kids, especially a daughter, because he was so thoughtful. Because I was so excited for him to try this, and it was absolutely not what he expected or wanted. And then Danny, on the other hand, I remember Danny just being like excited for the experience, like getting camera ready, like she just knows that this is a moment. And then I don't know if. I don't know if she goes, she can correct it. I don't know if she goes without me, but I do know that like she keeps me in the loop of any bubble tea place that pops up near her because she knows it's an event for us, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But I think I think my mom tried it and she hates it. Like, so she'll go with us, but she's like, no bubbles. But again, I appreciate somebody trying it and being there for, truly their disgust. Like they're like
It's great. It's great.
I was gonna say, yeah, we didn't see each other, but when I was in LA, I went to Joshua Tree. When you lived in LA, did you ever go to Joshua Tree?
No.
It's like 2 hours away. It's a national park. Support our national parks, everybody. Everything's in trouble, so pick a cause and support. But it was 2 hours away. It was a bit of a windy day and a bit of a cold day. Actually, that whole trip was rainy and cold. But it's all because I don't care. Like I don't do anything. Like Evan's the wilderness man. He's the one that plans these things. I didn't expect it to.
You take me to Joshua Tea. I'll introduce Tree, and I'll introduce you to Cheese Tea. Like that's the deal.
Yeah, I think this is perfect. I think this is how we've come together and influenced each other, right?
Yeah.
Everybody does something.
Personally, I would have broken up with him like years ago.
Really? Why? Because
all the nature he's into. Like I don't think it would work between us. You're more open-minded than I am.
Well, I think also like I'm really what I've learned about myself is I'm not going to do it, but I'll go along for the ride. I don't want to plan it. I don't want to figure it out. Like, and a lot of that, some of that is fatigue because that is my life every weekend, right? I got to buy tickets, I got to find my hotel, I got to, you know what I mean? Like I'm in a different place. It's a little bit of like a planning fatigue, and I don't want to do that in my free time. And I think that's really why I've become pretty not anti vacation, but I'm just like, I'd rather do a simple vacation than like something bigger. But I do like nature. I do like hiking. I'm not gonna do it if I have to do it. Like, you know, like if I'm the planner, it's never gonna happen. You know us. Like, we'll be like, you want to go for a walk? I was like, or, you know, either of us are like, we could sit coffee and watch TV, and we're like, what a great idea.
It's way better. I bought a walking pad so I wouldn't have to be out in the world with the outside.
Are you using it?
Yeah, I use it. It's not as good as yours because you can run on yours. Mine's just like you can get a really fast, brisk walk.
Yeah,
but it's lame.
It's not lame. I've been, because of my knee, I've been walking a lot more. But I've been like, if I don't get my walk in during the day, like in the world, I've been using my little walkie pad. My goal is to really get my cats to use it. Sorry, my cats.
I have a personal trainer who's like trying to get me to do 8,000 steps a day. Mm-hmm. And it should be easy because I was trying to do 10, and I never get anywhere close to 10 unless I've missed the bus or something. But like, it's hard to get the 8 in even. And she's like, just try to get 8 in, you know. And like if I don't go anywhere, it's like a 2,000 walk day. It's a 2,000 step day. So then I have to I would say every 10 minutes is about 1,000 steps. So then I would have to walk for 50 minutes on this pad. I don't know. It just, then you get to the point where you start taking your phone to the bathroom. You try to get in all this stuff.
You're like, I'm not going to miss out on these 7 steps.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just putting your phone on the washing machine.
I remember so when I turned 30, I can't remember if you were still living in LA. I think both you and Emmy were in LA. But I was scared to be on a motorcycle. My buddy Alonzo Bowden, shout out. He's a big motorcycle guy. And I was like, hey, would you take me on a trip on your motorcycle? I want to do it. If I'm going to feel safe with anybody on a motorcycle, it's going to be you. And so he's like, absolutely. So we took a trip to the Angelos National Forest. He's sober. I don't drink. We drank sparkling water at a biker bar, and then we came back down. And my Fitbit said I walked like 40,000 steps.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I realized that, like, just the wind from being up. But I was just like, because I was like we walked a little bit. Like, I was like, we walked to the biker bar. Like, I was like, I don't think it was 40,000.
You remember my little convertible? Like, that thing was so bouncy because I think, like, I don't know if the alignment was off or what it was, but whenever I would ride around in it, it would be like 100,000 steps. Well done.
You did it. Pow, pow, pow. Do you have abs?
Yeah. People, because this is around the time everyone had a Fitbit and you were kind of in competition with each other. People would like stop competing with me because they're like, what? Like, no one bought that I was, and I wasn't doing 100,000 steps, but
Obviously. I remember I moved a 10-minute walk from this is like 2 apartments ago. So my old apartment, I was in the same neighborhood, and me and Carmen moved to Queens, and me and Chris were moving like a 10-minute walk away. So I got a U-Haul truck, and I had my car. I think Sam helped me because Sam always helps me move. My mom was there. I think Greg helped me. Like, half my family's helping me, and it's me and Chris moving all our stuff. But sometimes I was driving the U-Haul. Sometimes there wasn't enough room, so like I would walk so there was so much back and forth walking this 10 minutes, as well as walking in and out of each apartment and up and down steps, that I think all of us got like truly 30,000 steps in like half a day. Wow. And it was like we didn't go anywhere. And I also remember we were all dead, like truly dead after that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, tiny. It was the first time that I realized that even like just the act of moving is exhausting. Like, you don't actually have to, like, you could just be going from like an apartment down the hallway and it's still the worst experience.
Can I tell you something?
Sure. This is such a private moment where nobody's listening.
No one is listening. I think I had a hot flash.
Really?
Yeah. Because it was 2 in the morning and I was getting out of bed to pee. Because that's what I do now. I get out of bed after an hour after I go to sleep, I have to pee. And then like an hour before I wake up, I have to pee. But
Welcome.
I woke up and then I just like, I don't know what happened. I was just immediately nauseous. Then my head like was like on fire. And then I was like about to pass out. And I was like, Johnny. And he was like, And I was like, I think I'm going to pass out. And he like shot out of bed and was like, what's going on? Sit down. Like, are you okay? And I don't, you know, when you get lightheaded and you're like, things are going black.
Yeah.
So I was nauseous, which isn't, it isn't a symptom of a hot flash.
That is a symptom. Like whenever I've been about to pass out, the first thing I feel is nauseous.
Really?
Yes, every time.
I don't often feel like I'm about to pass out, so I don't really know. I just know that feeling. It's like, well, like it's like pixels start to go black, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not good. And then I was just really like, it was just like I was like really hot, intensely hot. It only lasted like 10 seconds, but I was like, what the fuck was that? My only guess is that it was a hot flash.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about, and it also feels like a tester hot flash. So like, how do you feel about this?
I don't like it. I never want it to happen again. I was like afraid to go to sleep the next night. I was like, I don't want that to happen again.
Did you do, I mean, we're getting up there, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. But I guess my question is like, did you eat enough? Like, would there be any reason why you would just even forget hot flash, just be lightheaded?
No, I ate plenty. Like I always eat plenty. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
never
It's
that's never the case. No, I have no idea because nothing was really that different. Yeah, completely
And
like out of the blue.
did you look up hot flashes? Did they say if they last, how long they can or do last? Is that your
They
Google?
last 30 seconds. It wasn't funnily enough.
You're like, I almost died, but I didn't Google it.
I mean, I don't want to know. They last like 30 seconds to like, I think like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something. Like an insane amount of time. And it's only 10 to 15 years of your life.
Sure.
So, God. Yeah. And so, I mean, lightheadedness is a thing. Happening at night, like night sweats is a thing. The nausea was not a thing. They're like, it could happen, but it's not really a...
But maybe your body getting used to this, or like this first hot flash, your body was like, oh no, we're gonna sleep for this one. Like your body was like, we don't want to be present.
Yeah.
Oh no, thank you. Is this aging? Oh no, thank you.
Oh my God. I dread it though. Like, you know, when I first had a panic attack, the dread that comes after it of like not wanting to do anything that will trigger that again
Yeah.
is almost worse than the actual panic attack. So now I'm like just dreading like going about my day and suddenly like, cause I had just done like a scratch night in a theater where like, it's like kind of an open mic night. So that people bring in their writing and like, I had just acted in it. What if it happened while I was on stage? What if I'm doing stand up and it happens? Do you know what I mean?
Sure. And the way you're referencing is truly like a panic attack. I mean, the first thing is that you'll be more aware of it. It will be, I think each time it becomes less scary. You have the same way with panic attacks is like, I call it out what it is. I have, you know, a list of kind of ideas and tools of ways to handle it. So I think in unlike a panic attack, half the population, if they're lucky and age, go through this. So I think, I don't doubt that it was scary, and I don't know if it's also always going to be paired with blacking out. If it is, if all your hot flashes are you blacking out, I'm just like, I mean, that might be epilepsy. Like, you have like menopausal epilepsy. You need to get that checked out. You've invented something. But that also that being said is that there's so many, like, people are talking about it more. There's so many more studies that I do think there's like, I don't know if it's estrogen therapy or but there are stuff that's supposed to help with hot flashes and ease us through this transitional period of our lives.
It's just such a, like, you just picture like you're in like menopause when that happens. Do you know what I mean? Not this
Sure.
early.
Yeah, but like, did your mom tell you when she went through
No, she didn't
menopause?
tell me shit. Like, she never complained about anything. I don't know. Like, she was superhuman. I don't know how she, but there, I never heard about her going through anything. Cramps, never heard about. Hot flashes, never heard about. Me being a pain in the ass, never heard about. Like, she was never complaining. It's crazy. I don't know where I didn't get an ounce of her sunny disposition. I got but I'm very much my father's daughter.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, my mom told me she was 51. So that's why like I'm 39. I'm a little bit, and like everybody's like it's too early, and I was like, first of all, you're not a carbon copy of your parents. So the same way that like we've talked about like girls are going through puberty at 8, which is too young, like who's to say that this wouldn't happen earlier? But I am a little bit like, is this it? No. No.
Yeah, you were really waiting. You're like, up, this is perimenopause, it's happening.
But even like, so my friend Ashley, she just turned 40. She was almost everything I was talking about a couple of months ago, the brain fog and just being like out of it and like whatever, but hers was even worse. She was like tired all the time. Like she's an equine vet, so she'll drive hours to go help a horse, and she was like, I would have to pull over on the side of the road and take a nap in between appointments. She's like, I was like,
Oh my God.
she truly was like, am I having like menopause? Like, is this perimenopause? And then she went to the doctor, and at first her was there insulin, something that shows if you're pre-diabetic, was like through the roof, and she's like, oh my God, how is this possible? And then she looked at, because she's looking at her own blood work, she saw, I think she's hyperthyroid. She's either hypo or hyper. I forget which one. But that it kind of explained everything. And so, she'll go on medication, she'll whatever. But like her first guess was that it was perimenopause. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm glad she didn't just assume and not do anything.
Well-
I'm glad she went to the doctor. But I do think we are at that moment where like, at this point, if I'm a bitch, I'm going to be like, I'm so sorry. I'm turning into more of a woman than I've ever been. And this is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, TikTok isn't helping. It's like every other video is like, it's that. But that's why I got off TikTok. I'll diagnose it myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Do you feel that when did that happen?
2 nights ago.
Okay. Also, keep in mind bereavement, stress, other things. You know what I mean? It can also just be your body is like, whoa, this is too
Yeah.
much.
I'm
I
also
hate this.
yeah. Yeah, I'm also trying to like eat better and limit my calories a bit. So my body's probably like, "Where's my bubble tea?"
I heard you say cream cheese like 3 times.
I know,
Are you
what's
just not
going
going to
on?
deliver? No, I think that's it. I think we diagnosed that.
Cool. I'm so glad we have this podcast.
Obviously, genius every time.
I die at 47 because we have this podcast.
I don't doubt that. All our listeners, we've taken at least half a year off all our listeners. You want to get into announcements?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I am on tour. This comes out. I will be in Sunnyvale, California. I'll be in San Diego. I will be in Los Angeles. I'm going to be in Salt Lake City, I think May 1st. I'm in other places, Albuquerque, Charlottesville, Virginia. Everything is at lizmealy.com. And yes, that's all I got.
I'll be in Sweden on the 25th. I think I'm in Uppsala, and on the 26th, I'm in Stockholm. I feel like I have some Nordic fans because there's a BBC Nordic.
Oh, nice.
And I think that, yeah, so some people followed me from like Finland and Norway and shit. And then I'm doing Camden Fringe. I'm just doing like 2 nights so far at the end of July, but tickets aren't on sale yet. Just know.
Be prepared emotionally.
Yeah, exactly. Follow us on Instagram at the number 2 non-DRS, and then everything else at the number 2 non-full-word doctors. And you can email us at gmail at 2nondoctors@gmail.com. It's the number 2 full-word doctors.
Nailed it.
Follow me actually, please, on YouTube. I know I don't post, but I will. I'll post. But I keep hearing that it's all going back to YouTube right now. So I need to get my YouTube going a bit. I'll follow that trend. I like YouTube. I don't like the other ones.
Yeah, no, I mean, so the thing about YouTube is it's harder to build up, like it's slower and harder, but when you do both financially, like I do make money from ad revenue on my stuff, but like you can build up with like little clips and little videos, and then also if you do start putting out longer stuff and you're monetized, it can be lucrative and helpful.
Yeah, follow me at Maria Shahada. For some reason, the Live at the Apollo is not promoting my Apollo clips. And they keep saying, well, BBC has to approve it. And I'm just wondering if it's because I have jokes about Palestine. I don't know. But they had that one clip of me and they just, nothing else.
That'd be
So
messed up.
I'm going to have to, huh?
I mean, that would be pretty messed up. And I mean, that makes me so angry.
Right. Well, I'll just have to like rip it and then just illegally do it. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Google's.
Yeah.
I'll go first. Mine's not medically sound. Mine's so if you don't know, everything is crashing and burning in America. I'm sure you haven't heard. We're not fine. I don't even want to. No, I mean everything's going to shit. Like, I mean, we would have to start a whole political podcast to go through everything that is truly going to shit between them, like kidnapping people and sending like, you know, with no due process and sending people to El Salvador or deporting people to, you know, all the tariffs that the math is not real, like just made up math. They're, you know, the jokes are like, you know, they put tariffs. He said, this is payback for people over tariffing us. Yet one of the tariffs they put on was on the McDonald Islands, which is an uninhabited island of only penguins. So it's like these people are not serious, yet there's serious consequences as people are losing all their money from their 401k and their retirement. I talked about it with Evan a little bit yesterday because like he has a 401k. And he's like, oh, yeah, I've lost a ton of money. And so he was talking to a bunch of buddies of his, like, should I take it out? Like, what, da-da-da? He's like, no. He's like, things will correct eventually. But, you know, the whole point is that you don't touch that until you're 65 and there's time. But where it's really hurting people are, like, they're 63. You know what I mean? And there is no more time. Like, they're never going to be able to retire. Just, like, really just destroying people's lives left and right. But I don't have like a retirement fund, but I have put money in CDs. Like the one thing, like I was gonna learn more about stocks. So that was like my goal for this year. Maybe not right now. But I've always tried to be, especially as I started to make a little bit of money, to be smart about it. And like 2 years ago, like a 3-year CD was at like 5%. It was at something like crazy. And then, so I put some money then, and then things were going to go down, and it was down to like 4%. So I put but I was just like, all of a sudden I had a moment where I was like, I don't even think I know what a CD is. I just know that it stays at a certain interest. And so my Google was, do certificates of deposit, do CDs, are they affected by the stock market? Because all of a sudden I was like, because everybody's talking about losing all this money. And I was like, well, I don't have any money to lose. And I was like, do I? I might have a little baby. So it says,
I was actually wondering this too. So I'm really looking forward to what you're saying.
Yeah. Welcome to Liz's Money Talk, where I also don't know what I'm talking about, just like medicine. Okay, so no, CDs, certificates of deposit, are generally not directly affected by the stock market because they are a low risk deposit accounts that guarantee a fixed interest rate from for a specific term, unlike stocks, which are subject to market fluctuation. When you invest in a CD, you're essentially lending money to a bank or a credit union for a set period, and in return, they pay you a fixed interest. So when I first researched this and was whatever, I was like pretty sure that's what I was doing. But then also I put a little bit of money in index funds, because index funds are, I think it's like this is, and I'm sure someone smarter than me will correct me, but index funds are supposed to be a bunch of like pretty safe stocks, and it's just a bunch of them, and you put a little bit of money in a bunch of them so that they're safer in the sense that if anything happens, it doesn't blow up. The same way that, like, let's say I put a bunch of money in Tesla, and then everything that's going on with Elon, it starts to tank, you lose a bunch of money. But this, I'm pretty sure there's these different types of index funds. So you could do like a tech index fund, you could do a garment index fund, I don't know. But like it would maybe have like, let's say I did it in cars, I might have a little stock in Honda, a little stock in Tesla, a little whatever, so that if anything happens, yes, Tesla's dumped, but Honda's doing great. I don't know, I'm making all this up. But so I put the tiniest amount of money in an index fund, but most of the little bit of money I have, I just put in a CD. And a lot of that's because, like, while I should be doing a retirement fund of some sort, since, we don't have real jobs, you're not supposed to touch that money, and I don't feel financially stable because there's like a not a fee. Yeah, I think like a fee. Like there's a penalty. That's the word. There's a penalty if you take that money out before you're 65. So I didn't want to put it in at least a lot of it in a traditional one right now until I'm a little bit more financially stable. So I think I'm all right. I haven't looked. I just Googled that at midnight.
Okay. I hope you're all right. I'm in a wonky time. I don't want to talk about it at the moment, but I'll talk to you about it later. But like, yeah, oof, scary shit. Every time I look at the news, it's like a graph with plummeting red lines, and you're like, okay. I'm just gonna go to the crossword. Don't mind me.
Yeah. That's so funny where you put on like these little you're just like, just look at the crossword. Look at the don't read. Oh, I read a headline. Yeah.
No peripheral. Yeah, just
world has exploded.
Wordle.
Oh, the New York Times has gotten so serious lately. I thought you were here for games.
Yeah. What was my Google? Oh, it says cheese tea. Hold on. I basically Googled, like, why do some people's legs shake up and down, like bounce up and down rapidly? Because it bothers me. Because I'll be on the tube. Because you know how I don't just have misophonia. I have the movement one too. So where people's movements bother me. Everything bothers me. But you know how it's usually men, but their legs just bounce up and down really, really, really fast. Yeah. For the duration of, like, I could be going to Heathrow, like an hour and a half trip, and it would be going the whole time. Why does that happen? And there was a lot of, like, answers, but they weren't physical answers that I was looking for. Like they'll be like, oh, well, ADHD. And it's like, okay, but, like, what about ADHD makes your leg bounce up and down? And then one site said it's to quiet, sometimes it can be to quiet the bored part of your brain so that you can focus. So it's about focusing. So if your leg is expending the energy to go up and down, that bored part of your brain is quiet, and then you can pay attention to what you need to pay attention to. Okay, sure. But that doesn't explain the tube bouncing. So anyway, here are a couple things. Anxiety, which you could guess. That's what it looks like. That's what it presents as, is anxiety. Your body goes into fight or flight mode, and your heart pumps out extra blood to your muscles, readying them to run or engage. And your breath becomes faster, and your mind becomes more alert. Hormones like adrenaline fuel the fight or flight response, and they can make you shaky or jittery. So I guess it's like a mix of being shaky or jittery from hormones, but also like your body's saying run, and you're not running, but your leg is. That's why, like, people move back and forth on stage when they're nervous.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sam does it. Sam has ADHD. Sam is absolutely a leg bouncer. He has a series of fidget toys at all times. Like, you go into his apartment, it's just a sea of fidget toys. If you look in his back, like, it looks like he just robbed a child. Like, he always has at least 4 fidget toys on him at all times. And I do think it's interesting what you read before, because I do think there is something like, why does a fidget anything work? And it's like, oh, this thing is being distracted so I can do this. Hence, like, the things that you hate, like the pen clicking or the, like, I think those are just an extension of that leg shaking. Is like, I'm clicking this pen, I don't realize I'm doing it, but I'm reading this email or doing this thing, and I'm...
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like, now I'm distracted, you know?
And filled with rage, if I know anything about you.
And what?
Filled with rage, if I know anything about you.
Absolutely filled with rage, yeah. I'm unpleasant. Hyperthyroidism, an overactive thyroid gland can cause shaking. I mean, that's not really what I'm looking for. Okay. So the ADHD is a brain disorder that makes it hard to sit still and pay attention. People with this condition have one or more of the 3 symptom types: trouble paying attention, acting without thinking, impulsivity, or overactivity, hyperactivity. Shaking is a symptom of hyperactivity. People who are hyperactive may also have trouble sitting still or waiting their turn, run around a lot, or talk constantly. Fine. So I don't know. I guess that answers my question. But yeah. In China. So like here, it just seems like it presents as nerves. But in China, so I was reading Reddit, and they were like, so somebody wrote, in Japan, this is called binbo ashi, binbo ashi, poor man's leg, associated with homeless or people who are generally bad with money and always poor as a result. Be thankful the West just associates it with nervousness. And
Jesus.
And someone else wrote, it's a superstition in China too. I got caught out doing it by some locals, and they kept telling me to stop because I'm shaking my money away.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it.
Okay. I feel like we learned some stuff, and we learned some stuff we didn't want to learn. So much learning.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you all for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and thanks for your patience about the break, and then also thanks to all our patrons for sticking around.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely. Bye.
Bye.